In today's episode, I'm breaking down exactly what I would do if I was starting again today from scratch as a marketing manager. Given that I've worked in B2B marketing for coming up to 20 years, yep, I was 17 when I took my first B2B sales job, I feel like I have the experience behind me to truly reflect on what I did wrong, what I would have done differently, and how I would approach this today, starting right from the beginning. I'm going to share with you how to quickly understand the business that you're in, build relationships with the most important colleagues in that company, get strategic insights that you're going to need to build your marketing strategy, and how to put practical actions in place that are going to not only work for your marketing plan, but also get you the respect that you deserve from your leaders, all without getting overwhelmed and kicking imposter syndrome to the curb once and for all. If you don't already know me, I'm B2B Jade, the course leader at B2B Breakthrough Academy, my 6-module marketing strategy course designed to help you go from frazzled and overwhelmed to strategic with a real marketing plan in place that you can deliver. If you'd like to join B2B Breakthrough Academy, I have linked a bit more information in the show notes. And make sure that you subscribe to my channel so you don't miss any of these videos. If you're listening on the podcast, why not head over to YouTube and watch the episode instead? Okay, so let's start with what I would do on day one of settling into a new role as a marketing manager. And this doesn't have to apply to you starting a new job. This could literally just be you having a fresh start in your current job. I would start by really spending some time learning the company, the products, the history, the offering. Get really into understanding why they have the products and services they have, where they came from, a timeline of this company, so that you can understand where it comes from. Now, if you had any form of induction, you're probably going to know that anyway. So if you're not in a new role, you may not need to. But I do think if there's any gaps in your understanding of the product base, maybe it's time to spend some time with operational teams. For example, you could spend the day on the phones with customer services or with the order management department, just so you can really hear what is going on and understand how your service is delivered from start till finish. Most companies do have fairly good onboarding training programs, but some of them don't. Some of them are just like, yeah, crack on, let me know if you need anything. So if you didn't have that in the start, I really recommend spending some time to really learn the end-to-end of your business. Next thing I want to do is figure out who are the important commercial people. Who do I need to build relationships with? Who do I need to spend some time with? And who are the subject matter experts? Because it's not just about building a relationship with sales, it's also about understanding who has knowledge in this business that is going to fuel my strategy. Because if we're going to go out to the world and prove that we have knowledge that's going to help them to solve their problem, we need to know who is giving us that knowledge. Because if we try and make it up ourselves without our subject matter expert, we are going to look pretty bad when we put our content out, because we're going to be skipping over the very things that are going to justify our position in the market. Have a little think about how much you rate your relationship with sales. Do you feel like they're over there and you're over here? What could you do to build relationships with them? One of the things that I would do is I would just ask for a meeting with various salespeople in the business, whether that's the commercial director, the sales manager, and just sit with them and listen. We don't need to be talking about marketing. So often we feel like we have to justify our position. But a lot of the time, the best way to build relationships is to really listen to people. Have them tell you what's going on for them. Have them show you their processes. Get them to walk you through what happens when a sales lead comes in. What do they send out? Just learn, be a sponge, and don't try and provide solutions there and then. Just be curious and get closer to these people. If there's one thing I know about salespeople, given the fact that I was one too, and that I've worked with them for years and years, is they do like to talk about themselves. So the more time that you can spend in that meeting where they're just downloading to you, you're hearing them, you're validating what they're saying, you're not getting drawn into solutions for them. You're just really there to go, I want to learn about what you're doing. I'm here to make your job easier. I want to make sure I really understand what you're working on. That, as a new employee, can go such a long way. But even if you didn't do this at the start, doing it now can really build bridges. Maybe there's repair work to do there. Maybe you guys didn't get off on the right foot. Maybe this can pull you closer. And there's an old saying, well, it's not even a saying, it's just something I think, is that you don't have to wait for someone else to do what they should do. For example, maybe sales are the reason that you're not getting on. That doesn't mean you have to wait for them to do the right thing, because maybe they never will. Maybe you can be the one to put out an olive branch and reach out to them and be the bigger person. The same way as a saying I heard about domestic chores. If you're wondering who's going to be the next person to empty the dishwasher, go ahead and do it yourself. I really like that one. I just think like, let go of who should and just be the person that is doing the right thing. Talk to various departments about their goals, their challenges, how they sit within what the business is doing overall. And really importantly, spend more time with your leaders to understand what is the vision and mission for this business. So most companies won't be able to answer this very well, but to give you clarity on what a vision and mission is and what's different about them so that you can be equipped to understand when your leaders answer this. The vision for the company, if you just really sit back and think about that word, the vision is really just, where do we see ourselves in the future? Like, I have a vision. My vision is, what does the world look like when you're finished with it? So like at B2B Breakthrough Academy, my vision is a world where every marketing manager knows how to deliver strategy and is respected in their business. May never happen, but even if I can get 3,000 people to be able to achieve that, I've made a mark. I've done something toward my vision. So what is your company's vision? What does the world want to look like when they're done with it? And then the mission. So the mission is, what are we collectively here to do? How are we pulling together? What are we promising that we'll do as a collective? So I'm fairly sure that Cadbury's mission is to bring joy to people through the eating of chocolate. It's like, how do we keep that happening? How do we make sure people are eating chocolate and feeling joy? Our mission is this. So then even like you could go all the way down to a production line. If someone did something wrong in the production line and the quality standards of that chocolate bar aren't reached, they could literally say, is that supporting our mission of delivering joy in every chocolate bar? No. Same with another company I worked with where their messaging was be totally confident. The idea was the insights that we'd gathered about the industry was that they typically in their marketplace, people felt uncertain and like scared and worried that their project wouldn't pull through and wouldn't work. But this company, the mission was to make the customers feel totally confident and to make the projects that they were working on simpler and less fussy because they were project managers. And so if ever someone in that team went wrong with something, the leader could say, well, is that helping our customers feel like the process of working on their project is simpler? No, it's absolutely not. It's making it more complicated. So that what you just did is against our mission. So our vision and mission should be things that can make sense to your employees. You can start by asking your leaders, do we have a vision and mission statement so that it really helps the whole business understand where we're trying to get to in the future and what we're trying to uphold in terms of our mission? Usually these will be nonsense. It will be just like fluffy words about innovation and moving forwards and being the leader in. These are not really vision and mission statements that people can get behind. So it can be really frustrating when you get these, but you'll be able to get insight into where the business is at so that you as an internal consultant can really help them to make change later on down the line. And I will talk to you about how to get more strategic with things like this. You can also ask them, what stands in our way of achieving our vision? Why are we not there yet? What big things do we need to focus on in our company so that we can get from where we are now to where we need to get to? These big questions, you're not even giving any knowledge or insight. You're just asking questions. These are the type of questions that will tell leaders, this person is strategic, this person cares. It's really tempting as a marketing manager when you first start to just throw a ton of ideas. But as a leader of my own business, just me, if a marketing partner comes to me with a ton of ideas before a ton of questions, I know they're tactical. I know they think they know the answers before they've even asked me what my business is struggling with. And that is a red flag to me. Another thing you're going to want to do is understand, what's been happening in the marketing so far. So obviously, if you're not new to the business, you're going to kind of know this. So it's a good time to undertake a marketing review. And the marketing review within my course is in like 8 different sections, each with a video training and a whole lesson to guide through every single step. The point of the marketing review is to just figure out, what does the business need? How are we going to support them? Who are the clients? What do they care about? Who are the competitors? What are they saying? What are they doing? What marketing activities have we tried? What results did they bring? And just being really open about all of that and transparent and figuring out, where are we at? It's often called the situation analysis for a reason. It's like, where are we at? One of the biggest reasons I see marketing reviews go wrong is when people are trying to make themselves sound good in that marketing review because they're picturing presenting it to their leader. Problem with that is you'll never move forward and you'll never be seen as truly strategic if all you're doing is pointing out how good you are. What we need to do in the marketing review is take a step back and work out, why are things not working? What's going on here? Be really open about all of that and say, I've spotted some things that are not working for us. We're taking on too much. We're not investing in the right channels. We don't have the right budget. I've looked at the budget calculator and we know that that's not the right amount. All of these things I take my students through. Once they go through that process, even before they've created their strategy, their CEO is like, wow, you are already so strategic in my eyes. And all they've done is ask questions and document what's happening, what's really happening. So I really recommend, whether you were to join my course or not, I really recommend that you do create a marketing review that's truly strategic so that you can understand where you're at as a business. It's such a good way to start. And interestingly, one of my students who graduated last year from B2B Breakthrough Academy, he just started a new role and he said the first thing that he's doing is going through that marketing review with the leaders and they are really blown away. As a side note, he also, within his interview process, presented the strategic planning framework he'd learnt within BBA and they were blown away. This is like the best thing I could ever hear as like feedback or testimonial, that a student literally got a new job off the back of becoming more strategic. I'd also spend some time really understanding and exploring the current partners and marketing suppliers that the company's working with. So whether they're marketing agencies, I'd be really trying to get closer to understanding exactly what they've been doing, what that's been based on, and not just like letting them get on with it, but really trying to understand, where is this coming from? Is this driving results? And what is the approach? So maybe you joined your company and you were given agencies and you've just kind of stuck with them. You've not really investigated. Are they working against a set strategy? Do they have goals? Are they reporting well? Do the reports mean anything? I know for sure when I was a marketing manager back in around 2013, sometimes I'd be sent reports from agencies and I would just kind of like attach them to our marketing reporting. I wouldn't really dig into them and figure out, are they doing the right things? Is this the stuff that we need? I'll tell you why that used to happen is because I was so busy with being on the task wheel of just doing loads of unstrategic things at the same time, is that I didn't really have time to step back and assess. And actually the role of a marketing manager, when you have the time and space that you need, is to operationally manage and assess. So taking that step back, understanding who are the agencies in this role, in this business that they're working with. Are they the right fit? Why were they chosen? What are they doing? And then I would take stock of that so that when I moved into the next stages of my marketing strategy, I fully understood who we were working with, what they were doing, and then I could work out, are we keeping them on? Are we redeploying them to different projects? And understanding, how much of a good fit are these partners for us? Because I tell you what, there are some bad marketing companies out there. I don't mean to be mean, but they're all doing a roughly good job in their specialist area, but they may not be the cream of the crop, the best out there. And it's always been my mission to find the best of the best. I'm going to share one of the biggest mistakes I made as a marketing manager. And it all came down to knowing how important strategy was, but not keeping an eye on what the company owners actually wanted. So I got really obsessed with making sure that we were doing everything right. And so fundamentally what I was doing wasn't wrong. I was bringing in partners ready to do some brand positioning work. I was getting the website resorted out. I was focusing on data and insights, all these big things that, given a few more months, would have really flourished and it would have turned into a really great marketing plan. But what I did was I kind of paused on a lot of existing marketing campaigns. So when I joined that business, they had quite a lot of stuff going on that didn't seem like it was generating much results. But because it felt good for campaigns to be going out, naturally it left the leaders satisfied. So what you have to be really careful of is don't pause things too much that the business thinks marketing isn't doing anything, when behind the scenes you're doing everything that's going to really lead to results eventually. Don't completely eradicate everything, even if it's not working. You have to keep a certain level of brand presence going, whether that be posting on social media, updating articles, sending out campaigns. Don't pause everything just for the sake of getting strategic. In a way, you're playing a game, because even if that's not really working and the data is shot and we're kind of pestering people, we shouldn't be doing this, just do the best of that you can in the situation you're in. So what you're going to be doing is balancing the strategic with the practical. Obviously, throw away things that are truly pointless and that you physically can't get to if you're going to work on a strategy. Don't just have your brand go dark while you figure out how to be strategic. Do you know the other thing I would do, which I think in 2013 wasn't possible? But if I was a marketing manager now, I would start to build an AI knowledge base. And speaking of AI knowledge base, I am hosting an AI in Marketing Simplified crash course on May the 13th to demo how to bring AI into your marketing function, especially as a small marketing team with limited resource, to help make your job so much easier. We'll focus on some specific case study examples with my AI expert friend, Ben Lee, who has done wonders in small businesses. The reason that we decided to do this together was that I feel like a lot of the AI in marketing advice out there feels a little bit unachievable for us. I wanted to bring the B2B Jade spin to this. So if you would like to join us, the early bird doors are now open. It's a 2.5-hour crash course. I will share the link in the show notes. Anyway, back to the importance and power of an AI knowledge base. So much of our time as marketers is spent in gathering information, trawling through old posts to rehash content and rewrite it. By creating an AI knowledge base, in a way, what you're doing is you are taking everything from your brain, taking everything from your subject matter expert's brain and placing it somewhere that AI can then reference to build you immediate content, immediate campaigns, immediate outlines, strategies. So we will talk more about this in the crash course, but that is something that I would put down as a focus to spend a bit of time and effort on so that you're building up almost like a second brain that you can then turn into AI employees as well. You can build yourself a content marketing manager later on. You can build yourself an assistant. There's so many things that you can do, but the best place to start is in building that AI knowledge base. But in a nutshell, what I would be wanting to do is figure out, is there a marketing strategy? Is it fit for purpose? And if not, how do I turn that around? Because so often as marketing managers, me included, there is no judgment here, we simply write a tactical plan. Even our objectives are tactical. Increase website traffic by 40%. That's not an objective. That is a success indicator that you might be on track to achieving a more meaty marketing objective. Marketing objectives are the part of the marketing plan where people go in completely the wrong direction. And then what happens is their entire strategy is wrong and they're working on the wrong things. So you need to make sure that you have got every element of a marketing strategy, not only learn in terms of what they're meant to be truly, but also how to actually build one yourself that's going to be fit for your business. I hope that you found this video useful today. Make sure that you subscribe to my channel for future updates. Give us a like and hit the alert button. And I would love it if you'd leave me a comment to let me know if you found this useful today. And if you have any questions, I'm very happy to answer them in comments.